Hello friends, it's Carla back today for the Emerald Creek blog and website, and today I'm showing you a crafty ornament set that I created for our theme this month, which is silver and snowflakes. So I started off with this cute little die cut mitten set, and this is actually an ornament set that one of my local scrapbook stores has as a kind of promotion. You decorate the mittens and bring them back, and then you can get a little discount card. So Scrapendipity had given these to me on Thursday, and I thought I'm going to decorate the ornament for the Emerald Creek theme. So you saw there that I painted the snowflakes, and I'm now painting the mittens with the Paper Artsy paints by Seth Apter. And these paints are very beautiful and creamy, and they go on the chipboard and the wood so beautifully and smooth. And only with one coat they give just a really beautiful coverage. So now I am taking the darker blue and I'm doing the little inside of the mittens, painting those, and I start out with a larger paintbrush, but then I end up finishing with the small paintbrush just to get in those edges. And I'm grabbing my Versamark ink pad and I'm inking these snowflakes. Now Versamark is a sticky ink, and you can see my ink pad looks like it's seen better days, but it actually still works, so we're going with it. So I've grabbed the Mermaid Fin embossing powder from Emerald Creek. It's a beautiful clear embossing powder with blue sparkles in it, and I really am loving it for snowflakes this year. So I painted the base of it just so that I had a base coat for the clear areas, and then you can see how the gorgeous blue glitter melts into that embossing powder and just creates such a really neat effect. So just heating that up, it heats really quickly, and you can see how beautiful and sparkly that is. Now I'm using a Holtz Stencil to add a little plaid pattern to these cute little mittens with Distress Oxide Ink, and I'm just using the sponge tool and sponging right over that buff paint that we used on the base, and the paint goes on really, or the ink goes on really nicely over that paint. And after I've laid down the first layer, then I grab some blue and I'm inking again over top just to create the plaid pattern. And I'm really not worrying too much about the inside of that blue center, because I am pretty sure that I'm going to go over it with something else after anyways. So I do take my paintbrush in a little bit of water because the ink pad is water-based, so it will just rub off with water, and I just dabbed it off. And then I'm using my Versamark pad and actually just pressing it right through this neat stencil, and I'm going to use the Dragon's Egg embossing powder and just to create a little bit of a design on the cuff here. I really love the shine that this Dragon's Egg melts to. It's such a pretty powder, and you can see here how beautiful that is and how nicely it melts, so nice and smooth. So there's both of the cuffs done, and now I've got a Versamark marker. These are really handy to have for any inside or small areas that you couldn't actually use an ink pad on. I'm just using the marker to go around the edge of that inside blue piece, and I'm adding the silver on, and then I'm going to heat that up just to create a little bit of a border. And I just use the paintbrush there to brush off any stray powder, so you can see that inside there. And then I've hopped over to the snowflakes and decided to add a little bit more color to those by using the silver powder. And I really love that the Emerald Creek powders melt so wonderfully into each other. So you can add different colors on top of each other and they just look absolutely beautiful together. Here I've added some more silver in the middle and on the ends. And I'm just using a pair of scissors to kind of hold those. You could use tweezers. And you can see again how beautifully that melts together. Now I've decided to go back to the mittens and I want to add some more color to the inside, or some more shine and powder to the inside. So the fractured ice is really nice because it is mainly a clear powder. It's got a little bit of flecks of color in it, and it just gives a really nice gloss. And you can see here how it melts into that silver that I did as a border, and it just creates such a really cool effect. And everything just melts together. That pen again is being used just to add a few little dots to the mittens, and then going over it with the silver dollar embossing powder from Emerald Creek. And that powder is just a really nice fine powder. It would be great as well for embossing sentiments and stamped images. So I am adding a few snowflakes from an Avery L stamp set that I have just with Versamark ink, and I want to add a few more details with that silver powder. So just by pouring it all over, I'm creating those and then melting them, and it melts really quickly and smoothly to just add that really great detail. So there's the base of the mittens. I'm gluing on these pretty snowflakes, and those are from Southern Ridge Trading Company, and they have some really gorgeous chipboard and wood veneer. Then I found some pretty snowflake ribbon in my stash, and I'm just using that to create a little hanger for the ornaments and gluing it right on the back. And then these pretty pine cone charms are in the Emerald Creek shop. I'm using a little piece of silver thread to just go through it, loop through it, and tie it on to one side of that string for the mittens. And then I grabbed some Ranger matte medium, which I really love for sequins or anything metal, and it just when it dries, it holds it really, really well. Then I grabbed a stamp here from Emerald Creek that says Season's Greetings. It's a beautiful font. And this cute set has a to and from, which I really like, which has a little snow cap covered font. And I stamped that on, and I'm just using a white Jelly Roll gel pen to add in the snowy areas on that stamp. So this would be great as well to create some tags and just add some quick and pretty details too. So there's a look at that beautiful mitten set, and I love how it came together with the silver and the dragon's egg and the fractured ice all kind of melted together. I hope you enjoyed having a look at this, and this has given you a few ideas for maybe some tags or some ornaments you could create. I will link the shop below, and you can go and have a look and see what crafty goodies you can find. Thanks so much for stopping by.